Hi dears, hope everybody is safe at home. I am Sujata and I welcome everybody to my online class. Here for 10th standard English I am taking the class. Two books are there. First Flight and another one is Footprint Without Feet. That is the non-detailed textbook, supplementary reader. So here in this textbook, First Flight, we have to study it very briefly. This is our main book. And here the first lesson is a letter to God. A letter to God. By hearing the name also you will think, letter to God. Who will write a letter to God? Whether God will reply to it? This is an interesting story revealing the faith of a person, a farmer named Lancho. Lancho is an ardent believer. He was a strong believer of God. He thought that God will give him everything. He believed very ardently, he believed in God. So he wrote a letter to God and he thought that God will reply his letter. That is why he wrote letter. Whatever we do, we will expect a reply only. So he wrote a letter to God. It is written by G.L. Fuentes. G.L. Fuentes. Before we go to the lesson, just think that how we will send money to others. In this modern world, there are a lot of modern ways to send money. Phone Pay, Google Pay, these are some among them. But in olden days, how the people send money to others? They used money order. Have you ever seen a money order form? I think you didn't see. This is the money order form. From where we will get this? We should go to the post office to get a money order form. And there are a lot of steps to do from the post office. What are they? First, we should go to the post office and collect the money order form. You will get it from the clerk and you have to fill up the form and the filled form should be given to the clerk. They will give us a counterfoil to keep us. Why? Whether the recipient didn't get that money, we know that what happened. So this is the form of a money order. So let us start our lesson. That is a letter to God. The main character in this lesson is Lancho. Lancho is a farmer. He worked very hard in the field. Daily he will work very hard with his family. Lancho's wife, children, everybody helped him to do the work in the field. So shall we start? The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with flowers that always promised a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour, at least a shower. Throughout the morning, Lancho, who knew his fields immediately, had done nothing else but see the skies towards the northeast. We know that the farmer, they will depend what the seasonal rainfall. So when they do anything in the field, when they harvested anything, their mind, they will always think, may God give us good rain, give us water. Otherwise, what will happen? All the crops will destroy. In olden times and all the farmers, they depended only the seasonal rainfall. Now there are a lot of modern facilities. But here, our Lancho, he was a farmer. He worked very hard in the field and he believed, may it rain now, he will get good crop throughout the year. And his house, the only house, where was his house? The only one in the entire valley sat on the crest of a low hill. Crest means top of a hill. Crest. That is the top of the hill. Top of the hill. So that is the only house stood at the top of the hill, and there was not any other houses. Now we are really going to get some water, woman. The woman who was preparing supper replied, yeah, God willing. The older boys were working in the field while the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called to them all, come on, come for dinner. It was during that meal, just as Lenjo had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. Because Lenjo thought that if I get good rain, what will happen? I will get good harvest this year. By looking at his field, he became very happy and prayed to God, God, if it showers now, what will happen? I will get good harvest. And during the time of their lunch, they called it. It was during the meal that, just as Lanjo predicted, what happened? The big drops of rain began to fall. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching, coming near. We know that olden times and all, the farmers could predict something. That is not the real prediction, but they could understand how the rain comes, what will happen, whether there's storm and all, because they are always depending upon nature. They have the faith nature won't treat them, they won't cheat them. So they believe in God and nature. In all the stories and all, we could see that they believe very, they are ardent believer of a nature. They didn't harm anything to nature because they know that their food, their life is always depending upon nature. And Lencho also, our Lencho expected good rain and he became very happy. While it was raining, what happened? He thought, this year I will get good harvest, because he is expecting that rain. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body, and when he returned, he exclaimed, these aren't raindrops falling from the sky, they are new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are 5 cents. You see how happy he is. Why? Because his crop is there, his harvest is ready, and if there is no rain, what will happen? Everything will be destroyed. So when he saw the cloud, the mountain valley, from the mountain only he could see that he was living the crust. So while seeing the cloud, he exclaimed, these are in raindrops. What? They are new coins. Why Lencho told so? They are not the rain, they are the coins. Because he believed when it rains, he will get enough crop and enough harvest. So he thought that they are not raindrops, they are the new coins. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn flowers draped in a curtain of rain. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. These truly did resemble new silver coins. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. Sometimes we can see during the time of rain, small, big raindrops will be there. But here what happened? Big ice balls like hailstone shower. So what may happen if the big stones fallen upon the plants and or small plants and upon, what will happen? Everything will destroy. So when they see that, the small boys become very happy. When anything happened to your house also, while it rains, that if there is hail, what will you do? You will run away from your house, you will collect it, won't you? Yeah, so here also what happened, when it showers, the hailstone, the people, all the children from Lencho's house, they all ran to collect it. Why? They become very excited to see the hailstone. It is really getting bad now, exclaimed the man. But Lenjo became very, first he was very happy, now he became unhappy, he afraid. These hailstones are very dangerous to his crop. He knew it better, but the children became very happy. They thought that hailstone is coming, we can go and collect it. So they ran out from their house and collected that hailstones. But now what happened? Lenjo became very sad. He became sad. His feelings changed. He thought that if it so happened, what may happen? My crops all will destroy. It is really getting bad now, exclaimed the man. I hope it passes quickly. It did not pass quickly. For an hour the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. But 1 hour continuously it rained with the hailstone also. So that poor farmer became pathetic. Why? He became panic. If it had happened like this, if it continued like this, all the crops will destroy. He couldn't do anything. He became very sad. The field was white as if it covered with the salt. So he became very sorry. He became painful. His feeling all changed. When he sees that mountain valley, that clouds is approaching, he was very happy. But now he became very sad. And what happened? He looked at the field. All over the field were covered by white ice. The hailstone covered his field. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. Flowers were gone from the plants. Lenjo's soul was filled with sadness. Now our Lenjo became very sad. Why? All the crops were destroyed by the showering of the hailstone. He couldn't control himself. He was in a pathetic condition. He became very sad. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his son, "A plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing." You know that locust, the swarms or some types of insects. In northern India and all, the locust destroy the cornfield. It will be very destroyable. So it is very pathetic condition. And Lancho told, if that locust came, something will be left there. Now what happened? Nothing is there. So the hail left nothing. This year we will have no corn. That night was a sorrowful one. Why? Why it was so? Because morning time he hoped that by looking at the cloud there will be good rain, so he will get good yield from the crop. But now everything destroyed. So he became very unhappy. He felt very sad. So that night was a sorrowful one. All our work for nothing, he told. All our work, but now nothing remains. There is no one who can help us. We will all go hungry through this year. Then Lencho thought, what will happen? What next year? What will happen to us? How we will live? Anything left there? Nothing. Nothing was there in the field. So dear, have you understood this much? This is only a first part of our lesson, Lencho. Once more listen here, just I will summarize it. Lencho was a poor farmer, lived at the top of the hill. He worked very hard with his family, his wife, children, everybody helped him to work in the field. And while seeing the rain, the cloud, he became very happy. He thought this year he will get good harvest. But what happened? There was a hailstorm and all his crops destroyed. All that crops destroyed, and he felt pathetic on that day. That night he couldn't sleep. It was a sorrowful night to Lencho. And shall I remind some question answer to you? What did Lencho help for? What was his hope? What was the hope? He hopes to get water in the form of rain. Why did Lencho say the raindrops were like new coins? By seeing the raining, he thought it is not rainfall, that is a coin. Why? Because he expects that he needs water. So he considered that raindrops as coin. How did the rain change? It changed into the form of a hailstorm. What happened to Lencho's fields? All his fields were destroyed. What were Lencho's feelings? He felt completely broken. Why? No corn and no seeds for future. So dears, I think you everybody understood this much.